Alright, welcome back to What a Civilization Started Over. That intro was incredible. Anyway, last time I made one of these videos was Thursday, which isn't very long ago. The reason for that was just, it's longer than usual. I usually do it every 2 days. But anyway, I want to give people time to watch all the videos so I don't just overload it and then people get lost in there's too many episodes and whatever and they stop watching. So hopefully more time in between each episode means that people can watch them more consistently. I don't know. There you go. That's just my thought process. Anyway, in the last episode we had, well, mostly we just looked at New Europe, New complicated Europe. Oh my god. Eastern Europe is a massive mess. And then it's kind of divided from the Iberian bit because of massive, not too bad France. France went to war with the Netherlands. There was a war in China where they said, don't worry, we won't take any land. And they took a load of land. So the blue country looks very depressed now. You got to Taiwan, new Baikal country. Cool. Baikal exists. And some other stuff, probably, but I can't really remember. So, let's start off. We're going to start off in today's episode, which is over here in China. No, that's not the right layer. There we go. So, first off, we are going to be seeing a change. Oh, come on, man. In the Orange country, as they will not elect, a monarchy. The richest person in their country will get their child to marry one of the children of the king of this country, which is like, yeah, that's fine, I guess. And then they launch a coup, take over the previous council, and install a monarchy, which the people are actually very happy about. They wanted a monarchy, not a council. People who aren't happy, people like the Lilac and this pinkish country, and kind of Bengal, although Bengal's pretty far away, so not sure how much they care, but maybe a little bit. Because, they're all councils, but now there's a stronger Chinese monarchist bloc, and all three of these guys are now joined because one of your children is the king of this country, and another one is ruling the Orange country. So they're all joined in a strange way. So that's nice. The Greenish country, who now religiously is joined to all three of those countries, now has, like, what's the word? Familial? That's wrong. Oh, I realized what I did wrong there. Well, they're related to the rulers of those countries now, so yeah, that's cool. Oh, I like the previous borders more, but no, this is alright, I guess. So they expand around to the Yellow Sea, I think it might be. And they're also going to make a landing over in this point in Korea. Or is that North Korea? I think so. I think the Japanese owned this bit, didn't they? Back in the old Japanese Empire days. Anyway, the blue team receives some funds and money. They have 2 cities, so they really do need the money from the yellowish-greenish country. Not this one. They're not yellowish. The orange team currently expand, except for over here in the Philippines. What are they going to do? This is not the Philippines. Taiwan. Well, they do a little bit of expansion and take over the northern part of the island, so kind of where Taipei is, I guess. They've got Taipei now. Anyway, it does look kind of scary for this greenish country because there's a lot of troops kind of around this area. And they might be invaded sometime in the future, so I guess we'll see about that. Anyway, let's head over here to India. India, come on, man. Right, so India will be expanding further northwards, getting close to the Himalayas, but they're not there yet. They haven't expanded in a really long time, and this is mainly down to the fact that they want to show, look, we can take over this land and assimilate it and populate it, because we're scary, and we're also the second strongest country on Earth, so yeah, be scared. Mostly to Iran. They don't like the Iranians. We'll go into that later in the video. Don't worry. Anyway, what's this layer? There we go. It is the top 10 rankings. Number 1 is, of course, Persia, followed by India. Then it's the Carthaginians. Massive Carthage Empire. I can't really see that. I love the Carthage Empire. Oh, you can't really see that either, can you? What's the color you can see? I like this Carthaginian Empire a lot. I mean, look at this. It's crazy. Then it's Caucasia. Actually, no, I think I should change some of this, shouldn't I? I thought I did change this. Did I not look at the internal rankings? I just looked at replacing somebody. France and Central Asia should now have switched along with Caucasia. I don't know why I didn't do that, but apparently I just didn't, which is a bit silly. So I guess live changes to the map. Pretty cool. as France moves their way up to the number 4 spot, followed by Caucasia, who got a bit of a power boost recently, and then Central Asia. 7th spot we have Rome, 8th is Mesopotamia, 9th is Bengal, and in 10th spot we have Egypt. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, Egypt, they're really not that strong. There's like a big divide here. We have like top 3, and they've got you guys all pretty strong, and then we have like these guys who are there, I guess. They're kind of strong. So that's like how I divide it up. And then Egypt probably could be put on their own bit as well, because they're really not that powerful. Anyway, there you go. There's Egypt, I guess. Head over to the north then, because France is going to be expanding a bit. It's just for the Faroe Islands. What did you think? France wouldn't invade a country. It's not like they did that last time. Don't worry. All is safe. It's what the French said. And they invaded Catalonia. Because that's right, France is going on another military operation into Catalonia this time. Now if we have a look at Catalonia, they're a very new country. They're an aristocracy actually, which is kind of because they're under French influence, so it's not very nice of France to invade them. However, France apparently just isn't nice. They also only have 2 cities, which is really strange for this pretty strategic area of the world. So the French had a pretty easy time as the 4th strongest nation on Earth, just invading this country, and with a quick bit of changing to their aristocracy and the implementation of a lot of French nobles into their government, they will agree to peace. That was quick, but France didn't really want all the country. They just wanted to put them under their control more. So there you go. In a peace treaty between France and I was going to say Carthage, but Catalonia. There you go. France will take over all of these provinces. It's not a whole lot, but you know, it's land, and France likes land. So there you go. They also take a new city, and Carthage looks a bit more sad. Let's give the French one more province. I think this might make their borders look a bit better. Yeah, I like that. Alright, cool. So, yeah, you're more linked to France now. Maybe in a sort of alliance, but there you go. French military stuff. Heading on to the north, we have expansion in the Nordic countries with Norway and Sweden all the way up here. Norway will expand around to this mountainous lakey bit and expand to some more mountainous lakey stuff, because that's basically all of Norway. Norway's cool though. I mean, I'd love to go to Norway. It sounds like a pretty awesome place. And the history is relatively interesting. I mean, I like Norway a lot. Norway's pretty involved in the British history as well, which is another cool thing. The Swedish, for some reason, go to the mountains. I don't know. They just like mountains, I guess. Sweden, another country who's really cool. Their history is really interesting. I love the Baltic Empire bit, where they own like all of Finland, and they own the stuff down here like Pomerania and stuff, you know. They're really cool Swedish Empire for a bit. Then they lost that battle against Poland, and everything went badly, and they lost Finland after the Napoleonic Wars. But they got Norway, and they lost that in like 1805, so... Anyway, there you go, there's a brief history of Sweden for you, but without lots of the other stuff, like the Kalmar Union. Anyway, up to Finland. I don't know what I'm talking about. Finland's going to expand around the Gulf of Bothnia, so that's nice. Yeah, Gulf of Bothnia. Everyone forgets what this bit's called. They also go to some random peat bog lakes, so that's fun, I guess. No one living here. Finland is one of the what's the word? Flag? One of the staples for this druidic religion. I can't remember the word I was trying to say. So, you know, we added a new druidic religion in last time, so it's a big green one over here, and don't worry about this stuff. It's there too. I was thinking about maybe adding religious capitals, but I'm not sure how to do that. I mean, it would be that hard. I'd literally just go, bam, capitalist religion's here. Bam, it's over here. But I'm not really sure where it would be. If we look, oh no, wrong there. If we look at ideology, we can see that Finland is it's a monarchy. Oh no, that's not a monarchy. It's a theocracy. What am I saying? Latvia, Estonia, and this other bit over here, along with the reddish country, they're all also theocracies, and then we have the bluish country around St. Petersburg being a divide between a monarchy and a theocracy, with the equal power held by the king and the church, which has always worked throughout history, so that's fine. Great. Let's head over. Actually, we're going to keep this layer on, and we're going to introduce a new layer, which is what I'm probably going to put in the title, because we need to look at Poland. We're going to be doing something that already happened in real life, and making it different, because I thought this would be a fun idea. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, people, I think, like the Polish country. We're not bringing it back, don't worry, it's not going back. It's just that people over here in Poland liked the Polish country, and I don't like the color of this country, so I'm gonna make it a bit different. I'm not really sure what I want to do to it, but I want to make it kinda this. No, that's bad. I don't like that. Yeah, that's good. Alright. So yeah, this Polish country and a few other ones around it are all going to form an alliance. We have unofficial alliances in the world. Let's actually add a proper one, shall we? So we've got this country. We have this sort of Kaliningrad nation. They're going to join the alliance. We see the purplish country, the pinkish country, and the reddish country. They will all be joining this alliance. And it's no, oh stupid red country. Do you want to be in the alliance or not? It's going to be the light blue alliance. I'm just going to color in all the squares different colors. I feel like that's easier than making it different shapes. There you go. You're going to see a giant blue square, I hope. Right, so these guys are all in one alliance, and it's basically the Holy Roman Empire. So they can all attack each other within the alliance, but if anyone attacks this alliance, like if Latvia did, for example, everyone would declare war on Latvia and invade them. Also, I don't like what I've done to the squares, so I'm not going to do it like that. Yeah, I'd rather just do it like this instead. There we go, that's better, I think. However, these guys, they've got a wee problem, you know. People over here in Poland, they don't like aristocracies very much. You know, the aristocracy is what people blame for, you know, the collapse of the Polish Empire. They're like, oh, we federated too much, and to give the people too much power, these random insignificant nobles and whatever. So I hate aristocracies. And uh-oh, there's a couple aristocracies right over here. France is too far away to help their fellow aristocratic countries, and these guys are just going to invade them. So we have the red, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, all these chaps are going to be invading the pink and the greenish countries. And how's the war going to go, do you think? These two disunited, really new, unprepared countries are going to beat the combined force of the Holy Roman Empire. They're not. So the gold country makes a pretty good foray into the northern part of their nation. Let's also take off this layer. Also, apparently the green country's got one city. Oh no. It's not a good day for you now, mate. The gold country is just going to take the capital, I guess. We don't really need to draw in the green country, I suppose. And the pink country also only has one city, so like, boom. There you go. They're out. They've capitulated now. So in the peace treaty, they will be given a new monarchy. I don't know who would be the king of this country. I guess maybe the central Polish country. However, I'm not sure. Maybe they all get kind of linked. There's lots of powerful, well, not powerful, but powerful as in within this country they're powerful, but not powerful in a global thing because this country is very poor. So fake powerful aristocrats within this nation, and I guess they could all marry into them, you know, get some sort of foothold in this country. Why not? Also, they're not going to take much land because these countries are poor enough already, and they don't just want them to collapse, because that's not going to paint their monarchies or the country's new monarchies in very good light if they just immediately collapse the nation. So don't do that. However, the green country, you can kind of take a bit more from them because they're not very strong. As for the gold country, well, they've got more land. I mean, they're not that they're very strong. Not very strong. I don't know what I'm talking about. The gold country will take just this bit, and apparently into the ocean, which I don't like. There you go. Here's our new borders. Green country is very long, and the red country will be taking this stuff. If we head over to the ideology layer, then these two guys are now monarchies. Hooray. Let's go. You look a bit more sad. Nice, and will they be added to the Holy Roman Empire? Well, of course they will be. Why wouldn't they be added to the Holy Roman Empire? It's a blue alliance, by the way, because it's about the old Polish blue country, if that wasn't clear. There you go. Nice, and take off that layer. Cool. 15 minutes in. I'm actually doing pretty good time. There's a few more things I want to do. Mainly one more thing I want to do. Which is expand Baikal. An entire, 9 minutes of expanding Baikal. No, I like my Baikal country though. They're kind of far out, and I need people to arrive in Korea, finally. Probably going to do that in the next episode though, so that's exciting. And they're also going to expand further westwards towards the country that used to look like an elephant. That is what they'll be to me now. What went wrong? Oh, I see. I see what went wrong. And finally, this greenish country will get right onto their border. This is disgusting, and I hate every single bit of their borders. However, there you go. Is what it is. This is strange. I don't like their borders. I guess we can also address trade routes. No. Yeah, trade routes. There, I found it. Because the bluish country, I mean, they're like 7th on there. They're 6th, I think. But they're still relatively strong. I mean, they're not dropping in power. It's just that they're not growing as much as other countries are in strength. They're going to link up to their kind of ally greenish country. Same religion, so that's good enough. And they go all the way over here, which is pretty far. You know, that's quite far in one episode. Back over to the European stuff. The French are going to make a bid to get this trade route to expand through Italy, over here, and round to this city. The one in Northern Europe isn't really going anywhere. However, the combined force of the Holy Roman Empire will get it to expand around to this city, and then from here, expand around to the capital of this country, and then up all the way to this greenish country. So yeah, weird looking trade route over there. The one in Africa is just going to keep continuously traveling along the northern coast of Libya, all the way through here, kind of where Tripoli is, and Egypt. Oh, they're not that strong. I know I made it out as if they were strong, but they're really not. This one travels further down the coast of Hejaz, I suppose, maybe. And this bit, the Iranians have control over this. Anyway, speaking of Iranians, I said I'd talk about the Iranians. So, what's going on there? Well, the Indians make a foray into Irania? What the hell? Iran, to, well, I called them Persians, didn't I? To connect up the trade route to the capital of India, which is right here in Gujarat. That's the Gujarat province, isn't it? Oh well. So, let's look at what's going on in India. Well, actually, we need to have a look at the reddish country, because things that are interesting are happening in the red country. In fact, they're having a civil war. So if we look at the red country, they're an aristocracy. Most of the aristocratic families are divided between these 4 cities. So they've kind of got a power base in each of these cities, and then there's a few competing for the capital. However, a monarchist group has recently appeared, and they want to make their own king. And the king they want is one from the east coast. So we see a few monarchist groups appear over here, especially on the southern border of the nation. We also see another group appear over here, and a bit kind of in the middle of them. Because yes, the red team is having a civil war. Another group appears in the red team, however, and that is one that's in favour of having a council put in place, like the one in India. And, I mean, all the cities are under the control of the aristocracy. However, up here in the north, there is pretty big support for a new aristocratic, council-led government. And in the centre, it's kind of just whatever you want it to be, except for this bit. So let's look at how the civil war goes. Pretty quickly, the monarchists will push around here. The red team was not expecting this, but they push around to connect up to these 2 points, and now the city is surrounded, except for the fact it's got a coastline. The Salmonish sort of group will expand around to this bit, and they too surround their own city. How people in this city are able to kind of flee to the capital. Another thing is that in this group, they're pretty divided actually, and they get mostly taken out. However, this city will finally capitulate, and we also see people, especially along the coastal areas of this nation, take out this capital city or major city. The groups around the capital are going to start pushing in towards this area, and they free up this bit and also attack into this area. However, the red team, despite all their military stuff and the efforts they're making, doesn't really seem to have enough to actually stop it. It's as if the groups are getting more money. But, I mean, they'd have to get a lot of money because the red team does have a lot of populations to help them. But where are they going to get money from? The red team will accuse India and Iran of helping various groups, and they're like, no, we never do that. And the money kind of stops a bit. This isn't good because these groups need money from possible India and Iran. However, this was going to escalate very drastically as the purple and blue teams, along with the green team, joined the war. So the green team's on the side of the council group, and the purple and the blue teams are on the side of the monarchist group. And the real loser here is kind of the orange team, because they're like, why did you join the war, blue team? I thought you were our guy, you know? Our king, or one of our princes became your king. How come you're siding with the purple team, who isn't like related to you except very slightly, probably? You know, they're kind of allied. And the blue team's like, I'm a puppet government, so I have no idea. I don't even have a government, wait a minute. And if we take a look at this, let's just yeah, don't worry. So yeah, the blue team switched to absolute monarchy, just like the one in the purple team, which is of course influenced by Iran. And with new troops from southern India arriving, this is going to really hurt the red team. Groups push in around here, and these two areas try to avoid each other, so that the green and the purple teams don't go into absolute war. However, that completely fails. I mean, they've been to war before. That just immediately fails, and the greenish country will invade into these areas, taking this bit along their border because people claim they need to feel safe. The greenish country then starts its own invasion into the blue team, who really isn't very strong at all, and they take their capital, take one of their major cities very quickly. So that's that. The purple team has lots of its troops already placed over here in this area, like the monarchist bit, and they're going to try and sort of pierce through this area because a lot less defenses around here because they didn't expect them to get there. The red team is still fighting on in this civil war, and you know they're still trying, but they're not trying hard enough, obviously. The green team will push across this entire northern area, and they're getting very close to pushing into the purple team now. And the purple team's Iranian allies, who of course they're linked dynastically to Iran, they're like, hey, don't get invaded by the green team because they are far stronger than you. Not far stronger, but they are stronger than you. So we might need to pull some strings. And luckily they pulled a few strings because the entire family, royal family of the orange team are killed. And everyone was like, whoa, it must have been the green team because we're a monarchy and we're kind of allied to the blue and the purple teams. How did that happen? And then something very coincidental happens, which is that a king, or a prince, from this purplish country, whose parents, one of them was from the purple country and another one from Iran, that guy is put on the throne of the orange team and they will join the war against the green country. And this kind of seals it for the green country, basically. They're not going to win this civil war. There's a huge pushback made over here, and you know, there's actually finally Iranian troops fighting in this front line. Wait a minute, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, you were meant to get this land, not the other guys. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on there? Alright, so the orange team, yeah, they're invading these guys now. They push up and immediately take a capital city. No, not immediately, but pretty quickly. The blue team, their military is pretty destroyed. They had a lot of people fighting over here. And I guess they're still fighting there now, but there's not that many of them left. Because there's not that many people in the blue team. If you look at their provinces, there's 5. You've got 5 provinces, mate. The red team, taking advantage of the fact that, you know, the council group is losing, will just do this, and doesn't seem to that much funding going to other like remaining council bits throughout the country, which are mostly in the north for some reason. India, could you explain that, being a council yourself? and the red team monarchist group will just slowly continue invading on towards the capital until finally some ships arrive. And I'm pretty sure those ships are definitely not from Iran, filled with Iranian soldiers to invade the red country. Yeah, so the Iran is unofficially at war with the red team. In fact, they might actually be just before the end of the war, as their ships make a landing, and the rebels will take over the red team, placing them under a new government. Purplish troops just magically got through this area, and yeah, this capital city's taken, major city's taken, and we can look at a peace treaty between all these countries. So first off, you will be made into a new, come on man, a new absolute monarchy, and so will you be. You, no, because India is going to come in and say, no, don't do that. They're my friend. You can't do that. However, we can give them some concessions instead of territory, so let's do that. That sounds like fun. The blue team just wants land. I mean, they want literally anything they can get. They're not very strong. That should be clear. So they get this territory, and they also get this bit along the border over here to try and stop the green team, who will almost definitely be trying to... I see what I'm doing wrong. I understand what I did wrong. There we go. Sorry about that. They took over the entire world. Blue country, if you take over the entire world, I'm going to be so impressed with you. Cool. Right, there you go. So you gain this land, and as for the orange country, they're just going to take some stuff over here in the south. They don't get a city, because that will be me. And he's like, no. No cities for you. Go away. And here you go. Here's the territorial concessions in this war. The blue country looks disgusting. I actually hate their borders so much. But there you go. The red team looks basically the same. But now India has a lot of absolute monarchist groups, which is really different to how this started. I actually need to change these borders. They need to be altered. Like, drastically altered. And not drastically, it should be pretty easy to just give this province up. It's a little country, it can't do that many new people. That's good enough. Although I think potentially giving... I'm sorry, they're just working out the final bits in the peace treaty, you know? Is that reasonably good? It's alright. Plesiosaurus looking country. Yeah, India at the start of the series was like a stronghold for an early form of democracy, which is this sort of council thing. However, now it doesn't really look like that, and that's mostly because of this Iranian influence. And it looks like potentially India might be going towards a war with Iran. So I'll see that in a future episode. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Today was a pretty good episode. I liked the stuff in today's episode. So yeah, I hope to see you again next time. Thank you, and goodbye.